best music of the tier by a mile.
Okay. There we are. Alright. I actually completely forgot when I was in here for the one public group that I was just kind of seeing some stuff. I did not take them. I completely forgot. Wasn't really on my mind of stuff to do. I understand. I apologize. I have to go in jail. Alright, so I'm going to throw up a ready check for our food buffs. And then we'll get at it. Alright. Late chunk on Lego.
They need a refresher on spread positions and whatever once we start dying to it, just a heads up.
Like for just the first mechanic?
Just everything, until I get it down.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we could always post some of like the positions if we want inside of the... I mean, the flight one is just basically melee in the middle and range to the outsides, so that everybody's getting 100% uptime.
Here we go!
Here we go, the first Progaronis pull. Let's break our PV from last time. Yeah, I mean, we could do pots on pull.
But I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
After heals, spread for hunt.
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
She's great wings! Ha! Oh, wickedly divine!
That's gonna be cleaving bottom half. And then DPS got hit first, so, and then it is going to be, that is nearest, so...
Oh my! The challenger went down hard.
So then this is technically where we'd be in our clock spots. Okay, so we had nearest there, guys, for the next mate.
For which hunt uptime
So
relative
we
to
needed to have
the...
So Jimmy, you would have swapped with Shim there, and then on the opposite side, I'm not sure. I think Matt, you did swap with Amelie.
I
It's
was
kind of hard
dead,
to tell.
so...
Oh, you were dead from just the drops. Okay.
First player. Warning: this guide features early strats.
So again,
in
guys,
particular, and alternates out
Pink
and
is
out.
near.
This
Purple
will
is
come in
far.
combination with air on the boss. Either you get this pink symbol here, which will target the 4 nearest players for jumps, or this symbol.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
Which hunt positions?
She's great wings! Ha! Oh, wickedly divine!
That's gonna be cleaving top half. Gonna be going outside and then cleaving top half. You are very close.
Oh my! The challenger went down
Now it's
hard.
going to be furthest, So since DPS were the ones that were going to be, okay, we need to go over some stuff. So, Vix, don't forget you are in the melee spot there. You were out at range at the start. Yeah, like people are technically like the baits are going a little bit all over the place because technically I got a second bait then too.
Symbol attack fork side. DPS are going to get targeted with a
Okay,
jump.
so again,
This will give them a
guys,
physical volley
so
and a forked lightning debuff, preventing
first
them
thing that
from being able
happens is she goes back and she does the Bewitching Flight. She's gonna put the Electrobes on the left side of the arena, and she's gonna cleave either the bottom or the top. Melees, you guys are still going to be on the boss at that point. You could kind of just be spread however, and your whole job is just to dodge. Grover? Yeah, we could just say Grover instead of Colin. And so, when melees are, after the boss actually moves back to the middle for the witch hunt, is when you guys are going to then go into your spread positions. So melee, you guys are following the boss up until electrifying witch hunt, where you guys are then getting into those spread bewitching hunt
take
positions.
the next attack. Fortunately, the next
Where
attack
the
is
Electrobes are
bait.
on the right
We
side
get
of
some
the
floor
arena.
patterns that we get
And then
near
that's
force
after
in
we
normal
go through
mode
that
will go off
dodge,
either in first or
then we
out
get those
first.
drops coming in.
We get
because
near
that
to our
technically
spread
is the
positions
first
as the boss
spread,
will cast
per se.
Electrifying Witch Hunt and spawn
And then
more
based on
Electro
whoever
lines.
is getting
These
hit
will
by
spawn
the
on
first
east,
spread,
as well as one cheeky one in the
then
north that
decides
shoots
who's going to
directly
be
through the
then
middle.
how we're
Some
going
of
to
the lines
shift
on the ground start to
get hit by the
expand,
second spread.
forcing us to dodge towards the middle. We're also dodging to the front half of every tile to avoid
Everybody
the electro mines on all supports or debuff.
have the rough
One of two symbols
timing
will appear on
down
the boss.
now. The
Or this
idea of
symbol,
the timing.
which will target the 4 furthest players for jumps. Because supports were jumped on first, DPS need to be and
Go ahead.
one to get.
Again, Bewitching Flight,
should recognize
melee
from
could be
normal
right on
mode
top
that
of the
will go off
boss.
either in first
After
or out
Bewitching
first.
Flight is done and she starts
We get near to
electrifying,
our spread
that's when everybody
normal
goes
mode
into their
boss
spread
half of every
spots
tile.
on the groups 1 and 2.
We're going to get some floor patterns that we should recognize.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to
Personnel.
the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! How wickedly divine!
Lower half.
And they're done! Is it over
Electrifying spread. And that's cleaving top half. And then supports were hit
already?
first,
Challenger went down hard.
showing nearest. So DPS need to now be nearest spread. You were a little too close to me, Vic. Now we have narrowing. So narrowing is going to be in, out, in, out. We can't really do it because everybody's in it, but technically tanks you guys would be taking the first one here. Oh, Shim and Jing, you guys got it. Did the right spots too. Alright, I think we need to start at Witch Hunt first before we go to the other parts of the Witch Hunt. Yeah, so it's gonna take a little bit to get the motions down on it. Everybody needs to go from like their positions. Like, it's just going to be a matter of it's either going to be a nearest or furthest call when it comes to like the call outs. What you're seeing in the video is not what's happening in the fight. Or is I could, after this pull, we can break it down, we can slow it down.
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! How wickedly divine!
Top half. Spread for bewitching or electrifying. Leaving top half again. DPS were hit, so supports need to be hit, and you guys are going to be nearest. So supports need to be nearest to the boss. Nice. Next we have near, or it's going to be in, out, in, out. So tanks, you guys are going to be in first. Make sure that you guys are in. We're all going to be in, but tanks just have to be the most in. Then now healers out. Now melee in, and then ranged out. It'll be
Did it
quick.
right.
Kind of. I took a second to bait on the
Almost.
second
I
one.
just wasn't.
Again, guys, you want to be very, very tight to your markers. Obviously, for the
Normal mode
end,
that will
we
go
can't
off
really
either
be
in
tight to
first
the
or out
markers. We're kind of
first.
just going to use the boss hitbox, but
We get near to our spread positions as the boss will cast Electrifying Witch Hunt
there
and
it
spawn
is.
more Electro Mines. These will always spawn on the east, as well as one cheeky one in the north that always shoots directly through the middle.
Alright.
Some of the lines on the ground
Stay on
start
Cardinal,
to
stay on Cardinal,
forcing
stay on
us to dodge towards the middle. We're also dodging to the front half of every tile to avoid the Electro Mines on the east.
so 1 and 3.
As this attack goes off, either all supports or all DPS
And then it's
are
going
get
to be
targeted with a jump.
red.
This will give them a physical vuln and a forked lightning debuff, preventing them from being able to take the next attack. Fortunately, the next attack is baitable.
You guys got hit by all
One of
6.
two symbols will appear on the boss.
Oh, you did it right.
Either you get this piece,
Alright, nice. Alright,
We wouldn't clear
the
that.
symbol here,
take a pause
which
for
will
a
target
second.
the four
Let's
nearest
kind
players
of
who jump,
digest a little
this
bit
symbol,
here.
which would target
So
the
let's
four
make sure that
furthest
nobody's
players
left
who jump.
behind on anything.
Because supports were jumped on first,
Alright.
DPS need to be, and we look at the
So,
boss.
I'll pop this open.
For this, we still dodge the ground AoEs, but here we're going to swap
also-
the range and the tanks so that DPS are the four nearest players and supports are the
What I
four
want
furthest.
to do. So that one was all exactly to the book of the video. So that's kind of good to kind of have the example for it. So we did the Bewitching Flight perfectly. That was
Some
fantastic.
lore patterns that we should recognize from
So,
the mode that will go
after-
off either in first or hunt and spawn more electric patterns, exact same
Second.
time as
So
the lasers from
this is our first bait. This is where I just call out upper half or lower half. You could be wherever you want to be on this fight. Melee, I would recommend being in melee to get uptime. You can be wherever you want. There's no AoEs dropping at this point.
the boss. So, make
So
sure
this
you're
one
dodging
just
both.
does all the
Three different
damage,
floor
puts the lines on the
patterns that
ground.
We should recognize from normal mode that will go off either in first or out first.
So then after those lines come out is where we get into those spread positions.
Near to our spread positions as the boss will cast Electrifying.
Then we
Witch
get the
Hunt
second
and spawn
half.
more Electro Mines.
So then
These
here,
will spawn on
this
the
is
east,
lower
as
half,
well as one cheeky one in the north that always shoots directly through the middle.
and then we're
Some of
also
the
going
lines
to
on
get
ground
the
start to
boss
expand,
drops
forcing us to
on
dodge
which
towards
group
the
of
middle.
people are
We're
going to
also
get
dodging to
the
front half of every
next
tile to avoid
mechanic,
the
per
Electro
se.
Mines on the east side. As this attack goes off, either all supports or all DPS are going to get targeted with a jump.
So in our case, technically DPS got hit first. So then now, supports all need to do whatever the boss is going to tell you to do next. So in our case, we had nearest,
This will
meaning
give them
that
a
all of the
physical
supports
vuln
had to
and
just be
forked
nearest to the
lightning
boss.
debuff, preventing them from
In the
being
case of if it's furthest, then everybody has to like, so say like DPS then have to move in, and then all of the supports have to move to the outer sides.
able to take the next attack. Fortunately, the next attack is baitable. One of two symbols will appear on the boss. Either you get this pink symbol here, which will target the 4 nearest players for jumps, or this symbol, which would target the 4 furthest players for jumps. Because supports were jumped on first, DPS need to be, and we look at the boss, near. For this, we still dodge the ground AoEs, but here we're going to swap the range and the tanks so that DPS are the 4 nearest players, and supports are the 4 furthest. This will ensure that every DPS gets 1 jump, and the tanks and healers don't take a second hit that will kill them.
And so there, we did it perfectly. We just wanted to show you guys this.
Widening Witch Hunt starts with an out and alternates in, out, in. or Narrowing Witch Hunt, which starts with an in and alternates out, in, out. This will come in combination with a set of near and far baits that target 2 players each. We get 4 symbols, one after another: far, near, far, near. These will always alternate, but which symbol appears first is random and is not connected to the widening or narrowing paths. We have supports take the first bait, DPS take the second bait, healers and range will always take the far bait, tanks and melees will always take the near baits. This works even if we have the other set of bait patterns that's possible. So let's look at how this works in reality. We're going to dodge this entirely out of clock spots. Remember that healers and melees are swapped for this mechanic to work more smoothly. Let me show first widening Witch Hunt with far baits first. Every player is going to stay roughly near to their waymark, except for the players that are baiting who will go beyond their waymark. This is out, with the healers more out. This is followed with in, but the tanks will go more in. Out ranged more out. In melees more in. Here's another pattern that will work similarly. If you get narrowing and
This was the
near,
one
so
that
you
we
both in,
specifically
the first player
had.
to the nearest. This will just be in tanks more in. Out healers more out. In melees more in. Out ranged more out. Where things can get a little bit tricky is when the task and the first bait don't seem to match. So here we have widening, which requires us to go out, but the first bait is near, meaning that the nearest players are going to be the ones targeted. For this kind of pattern, every player is going to go beyond the waymark except for the players that are baiting. So first we're going to do out, but tanks on waymark. In, healers on waymark. Out, melees on waymark. In, ranged on waymark. If you get the combination of narrowing with far baits first, this will work almost the same, just in the opposite order, so I won't show it.
Alright. So, we'll stop there. Then we'll do a couple more pulls. We just want to start getting all this shenanigans down. We're also going to need to really harden down on the markers just for later into the fight. So.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! How wickedly divine!
Lower half being cleaved.
Oh my! The challenger went down hard.
We're gonna spread. And it's gonna be upper half. Supports hit first.
But for how long?
We're gonna be nearest, so DPS have to be nearest.
And they're
Nice.
done! Is it over already?
Alright, narrowing, it's gonna be in, out, with out being the first bait. So healers, you're gonna be outest while we're close. Now tanks, in. Well, technically we have, yeah, but and melee would be. Yeah, you guys, it's a little bit better. I mean, obviously, I think we need everybody up to really see the drops. Let's try.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! A wickedly divine!
Upper half.
Oh my! The challenger went down hard.
Spread. Lower half. DPS hit.
And they're down. Is it over already?
And it's gonna be forest, so ports out, ports out. It's gonna be widening, so it's gonna be out in, with out being first. So healers, you guys would be out first. And then tanks would be in. Yeah. Then melee, or technically range, would be out. And then melee would be in. And you guys were hanging out, I saw.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! A wickedly
Upper
divine-
half. Spread. It's gonna be upper half. And then DPS were
And they're
hit.
down. Is it over already?
So then supports in.
Oh my! The challenger went down
Narrowing
hard.
in, out. With near bait first. So tanks, you guys would be in first. Then healers. Then melee. Don't forget we are in
They're
first.
back on their feet. What creep?
Then now healers out. And melee in. And ranged out. Everybody feeling it a little bit more? Kind of feeling it out a wee bit? Yeah.
This will ensure that far, near, far.
Well, so you would be outside the
near.
marker there,
These
Shim.
will always
Don't forget.
This is nothing personal.
You wanna be
but
dying
I
on the
must have your
marker.
soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! A wickedly
Upper half.
divine-
Spread doll. Lower half. DPS hit.
And they're down! Is it over already?
Then it needs to be furthest. Supports out. Supports out. Arrowing, it's going to be in, out, with in being first. So tanks, you will need to be in it. And then healers, out. And then in.
But for how long?
Alright. I got the bait, but it is. I gotta be careful going too far out. Perfect.
Oh my! The challenger went down hard.
Say that again, Shim? It was the tank one. You got it by the tank thingy?
No, I was standing on my marker, but I wasn't in just enough so I got clipped.
Oh, okay.
Potential.
Electrodes. Flame.
He's gathering ether, but to what end?
So it's going to be 2 and 4, Freya. 2 and 4 with pairs. Your spot would be a little bit over to the right. And then Tank Buster, you would invuln this. I already used it.
Alternate,
Well.
but which symbol appears first is random and is not connected to the widening or narrowing cast. We have supports take the first bait, DPS take the
Just
second
for
bait.
ya.
Healers and range will always take the
Sa
far
did
bait.
you go cool did you legit? Thank you. Colon apostrophe right bracket or right parentheses, right parentheses, right parentheses, right parentheses. Less than 3.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! A wickedly
Lower half. For that doll. Upper half. Supports hit. DPS need to be furthest. DPS need to be furthest.
And they're done! Is it over already?
Widening, it's going to be out, in, with in being first. This is a curse pattern. So healers, you guys would be outest first. Again, everybody really stick to your lines, and then healers are outest first. Then tank, in it. Then ranged outest. Then melee, in Innis. Perfect.
Since, like, I get it was out first, but since the baits were still nearest, wouldn't it still start with tanks, not healers? If everyone's super far out and then the tanks on their markers?
There is no limit to
Wasn't-
Electro's potential.
Well, so it was narrowing, right? For the witch hunt?
Was it narrowing? I thought it was widening.
He's gathering ether, but to
I don't know.
what
That
end?
pattern's horrible. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
wrong.
the curse. So it's really difficult to tell even if people are per se standing in the right spot. It's probably not getting a lot of confirmation bias.
No.
I think we're kind of getting the witch hunt down. I mean, we still have like a death here and there, but like, I mean, I think it's just mainly when melees are having to go out. They're not getting out far enough when they're getting hit by Cleaveronis. Or the drops, I should say, like from the spreads.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! A wickedly divine!
Lower half. spread. Gonna be upper half. And then supports were hit. So DPS need to be closest. DPS in, DPS in. Nice. Alright. Narrowing, so it's gonna be in, out, without being first. Out, in, out, in. So again, we are in with healers being outest. So everybody, you guys are getting really close except for healers. And now tanks are gonna be closest in. And now ranged are going to be closest. That's awful pattern. It's a little difficult. It's like it's just so much of a mouthful to try to explain out every single thing because I feel like it's much more like people really need to get the what's it called?
Oh my!
Just kind of feel out the actual patterns. There's just a lot of word vomit, and I feel like it might also be screwing some people up.
Yeah, wherever the out is on the second half is for ranged.
So in that specific situation, that was the cursed pattern that time. Because last time I might have flipped it up with the narrowing, so I might have just mixed it up. But so that was the one where, even though we are out, tanks still have to be closest to the boss. So everybody else is very far out. So
Yeah,
for
you
the
need to be,
first drop
outside
there,
your way mark.
say that again?
You gotta be outside of your way mark.
Yeah, outside of your waymark.
If you're baiting for the cursed, you're just gonna stay in the waymark, and if you're not baiting, you're outside the waymark, either close or far.
Yeah, like, so with the first drop there, for it being narrowing witch hunt, with it being in, or well, technically furthest there, like the thing being with it being so cursed is that tanks have to be closest when we all go out, and then healers out, or it's just so much word vomit. So let's grab before we pull. Let me grab
4 different combinations of something that can happen.
Yeah, there's 4 separate different combinations. I'm not sure if there's a. So, like, I mean, we could always make, like, I mean, so I know some groups did call signs for the spread positions.
Could you do something like, call if everyone needs to be in, out, and then the roll? I don't know if that would help.
Call if everyone needs to be in, out, then the
So,
roll.
like,
So
if
say in, and then tanks know they have to be. Well, because that's a problem, because tanks could have to be.
Well,
But
instead
it
of
lets everyone
roll,
know.
like maybe something like just saying widening or narrowing, and then whether it's far or near baits first. Because if it's far, then we'll know it's healers first, ranged third. If it's near, we'll know it's tanks first, melee third, and vice versa.
So just to verify, everybody does know the difference between narrowing and widening first. I just want to confirm that to begin with.
Well, widening we start out, and narrowing we start in, yeah?
Correct. And then the pattern itself, like on who soaks, is based on what the markers are that she puts up.
Right.
So the only one we need to see is that first one, and then we have the entire pattern for the fight. So as soon as she activates her ability, and she does either widening or narrowing witch hunt, and then whatever the first marker is, everybody should immediately know where they need to be for the next 4 drops. Obviously, we just started progging this, so we don't have them memorized yet. But tanks and healers should always know that they're going to be doing the first or second bait, and then physical or melee range and melee, ranged and melee are the other 2. That will always be the same. Now, the baits just depend on then whatever the actual witch hunt is going to be on where they need to stand for that specific position.
Well, one way to think of it is if it's in, then you're going to be in your waymark unless you are baiting. And if it's out, you will be out of your waymark unless you are baiting.
Because there's never going to be a time where it's like, just for example, there's never going to be ranged going in very deep to the boss. That will never happen. You're always going to be sitting at your same positions. It's just kind of based on the actual witch hunt itself, on each drop specifically. Because technically, if you want to look at it this way, you're going to be going to the same position 3 out of the 4 drops, except for the time that it's your time to bait. So I could always try just doing, I'll call out either the widening or narrowing, and then I'll just call out the roll for who's going to be soaking next. Does that work for everybody? We could try that out. I like what Shim Sham was saying. I didn't hear a no, so that's what we'll go with. So we'll try that out for now. So let's give it a try.
Food buff Tusha. I notice your health's a bit low.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Save yourself the one shots, buddy.
Oh, I'll be fine.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
Oh my god.
That was my bad on Samba being a second lane.
If one needs wings,
Kind of tried to
one needs
screw that, so we just.
I also did not have a price below. So we just don't need any mitts. We can live. We're fine. We're fine.
Oh no, that was too much.
I had
No. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine.
Spread doll. Gonna be lower half. DPS hit. Tanks need to be, or supports need to be nearest. Supports nearest.
Oh my! The challenger went down.
The narrowing, and then it's going to be furthest. Narrowing and then furthest. So then, healers.
They're back on their feet. What grit?
So everyone except the healer should be kind of in.
Yeah.
And they're done. Is it over already?
That was...
Well, why can't we get a normal pattern to at least practice? Why is it always the cursed ones?
I'm gonna say that was the 2 curse patterns in a row, so it really didn't even seem like everybody was like so confused. Again, guys, so
They're still in it.
we are. Let me see if I can grab a screen cap from the video on like people on where they stand on the and like just blank it in.
End.
I guess this might be the best picture that we got on the line. I mean, I'll put something together maybe in like MS Paint. What's up? Yeah, hey, good.
There's one in raid resources.
No one on raid resources?
Yeah, there's a whole case bin mod poster.
I'll look at the second one yet. Just be very sad. A cup noodle in there.
Why are there cats in Yahtzee cups?
You'll understand the lore and well, it's important later. How do you actually move forward on these things? Oh, do you have to position everybody here? Is this a quiz? Oh, this is a quiz. Okay. So this is just more so to test people on like what this is. So basically look at this. So you guys would look at, so we have a narrowing witch hunt that is showing nearest. So narrowing is going to be in, out, in, out. So tanks, you guys would be baiting first. Oh, are you
I'm
supposed
sure
to be
you have
controlling
to,
the warrior?
Yeah, you control the warrior, I think, so it'd be the most in.
Okay, so widening witch hunt. So you're going to click where this person is going to stand. So Vic, oh, you get to choose like which character you are too. That's cute. Adorable. So widening witch hunt's coming out, so you have like the timing for it. So this is going to be furthest first. This. Oh,
Here,
I
click on the green circles.
Yeah, I like the green circle. Like, I mean, so are these just like the different positions that they're going to be standing in?
Yeah, it's where it's gonna be standing.
So like you'd have to click him on the nearest.
So yeah, so I mean, here first wing's going off. Tank need to be clear, like furthest, or not furthest, Jesus, closest, nearest. Is that one easier? Yeah. Circle is weird with the. Clock spots. Yeah. So, lining out. Basically with this, it's just the healers baiting first. When I see widening out, the first thing that I made, like, so healers are going to be the first baits out.
They're showing both possibilities, where the tanks would be if it was a near bait, and where the healers would be if it was a far bait.
Oh, even though
modified baits.
It just looks weird with like the widening out being listed there.
Well, it's saying widening as in the cast was widening, and out as in far bait first.
So like, call out and then who's baiting. That's what I was trying to tell you, like saying out, then who's baiting.
So then you're just, yeah, so I mean just basically in tank.
Yeah, if you do something like that,
in
it's
melee.
quicker, and I think it'll be easier. So everyone knows which way to go, and then you just mention also who's baiting.
Well, does everybody know which way to go? Is a very
Well, that's why I'm saying you call it out.
Yeah.
So you say either in, so everyone knows to go in, or out, so everyone knows to go out, and then you say who's gonna bait after that.
Yeah. Was there one for, what's it called as well? Yeah, other one. You just do the, everybody could do the quiz. Like, you just pick your thingy. Then you just go and like, I mean these circles are very bizarre, like, cause there's two separate sets of them. So this would be the opposite, so this would be, or not harrowing. Narrow. Jesus, that's harrow. So this would be the out, or in, out first. So. And so the only one that would be mainly a cursed pattern would just be, like, technically, if
It would be like it's widening
widening
in
it, yeah.
or narrow out.
Because then technically the tanks would have to be in, even though we're all, like, we go all out, and then tanks have to just be in.
Right. That's why you mentioned who's baiting. That way they know what to do, because they should already know if they gotta be close or far based on what they're baiting. But everyone else just needs direction on where they need to go.
And you shouldn't ever need to tell anybody what their baits are. Like,
Yeah, no.
Tanks melees are always going to be in baits. Range shooters are always going to be out baits. So.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone should know what they're doing. And again, very...
Take a move as well. Just move around a little bit, just so, just so we don't get AFK timed out. Oh yeah, so I mean, we'll keep going at it. I think people have a little bit more of the, what's it called?
We're just going to need to keep seeing it and ideally practice on multiple
definitely.
cursed patterns in a row.
I'm just trying to think of ways to make it easier, because I know this shit sucks.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. After we get this mechanic down, there's only 2 more mechanics left on the fight.
Well, my dog just unplugged everything. God damn it.
What mechanic is that?
I didn't see it in the video. I don't know what you do.
See?
Yeah, think of it that way. Only 2 mechanics left after the witch hunts are done. I just want to see how truly ridiculous the one is.
my dog.
Be.
Oh god.
Lower half.
Oh, this is so bad. It moved everything. I'm gonna kill my dog.
Started moving her abilities. Interesting.
No,
Spread.
she turned off all my fucking
It's gonna be lower half.
monitors except for one somehow.
DPS were hit. Supports need to be in.
And they're done. Is it over?
You guys hit each other with your own thingies.
Another
So
cursed
widening,
pattern. Let's
so
go.
out, and that's gonna be ins first. So out, tanks.
We don't have any of those.
Yeah, we're out.
Perfect.
Trust me, we're
They're
definitely
out.
out.
And healers in.
Hi, Shim.
Melee out.
They're back
Ranged
on their
in.
feet.
Oh. Okay, I can work on this now.
I think I have a better grasp on it though in general.
Unmitigated, that does like 1,000 more than my full life health bar. That's just sad. It's so close.
God damn it. Give me just one. I gotta be
It's
right
gonna be
back
2
in
and
game.
4. 2 and 4, and it's gonna be spreads.
Give me just a second. I have to actually close the game and reopen it right now.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
What are the chances, though, that of course, like, we couldn't even practice out the base with the tanks? Fuck. Just doing it to stick us over as much as they could there.
I thought that was the goal.
That's true, I guess. Guess we could take the break now. Yeah, I guess we'll maybe do another pull when Shim gets back.
It'd be a little quick. I just have to. 'Cause I can't move the window on this one for some reason.
Here comes Jing Dragon. Oh, come on, Jing. You're running out of time. Oh. Alright, come on, Jing. You're running out of time. Out, in, out, in. Let's go. Where are you going for the second attack now? Killed yourself and/or a party member. Widening. It's gonna be out in, out in. Let's go. Go. Yeah, I didn't do it fast enough. Gotta get out of the circle. Widening, it's gonna be out in, out in. Hey, they got the curse pattern 3 times in a row.
Wait, what happened?
He's doing the quiz.
I'm here.
Oh, you killed me, you bastard!
You killed
did I live?
Shem
Oh,
technically there.
died.
Wow, I can't believe you.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings! Ha! Are wickedly divine!
Upper half. Bread doll. Lower half. DPS hit.
Oh my!
Supports need to be furthest. Support furthest. Gonna be widening, and then out, in, out, in.
They're back on their feet! What creep?
Out. And then in, tanks in. Out, ranged out. And in, melee's in. Nice. Now I still had a couple deaths,
But yeah, I think that call it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Just like healer out or healer in, tank out, tank in. Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to make one more big
To a
note.
electric's potential.
Because I think that this might fix the problem for some people.
He's gathering Eva, but to what end?
So then it's gonna be 1 and 3, and then it's gonna be pairs.
1 in pairs. It's gonna hurt.
No. Technically, you guys will both get drops, so that's gonna work out. Do we hit 87? I didn't see. Okay. Something to note, just to make sure everybody is clear on this. After I call out what type of hunt it is, and I'm saying in, out, I am calling out the bait, not the positions that people are going to for the hunt.
Don't do that then.
What do you mean?
Just say the first roll. Just be like tank or like in tank or something like that. That's gonna be confusing.
That's what I'm
fuck.
saying. Well, so you don't want me to say the hunt at all. You just want everybody to just see the hunt.
No. He's saying he wants you to say like widening or narrowing, and then just if it's say narrowing
bait or an
in, just say tanks then. Instead
So
of
everybody
in, out, in,
is
out.
watching the boss.
Well, no, like if you say tanks are first bait, you should know then.
Yeah, we don't need to
that
watch
it's
the boss.
that it's near out. Like you would know immediately then it's near out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you said healers first, everyone should immediately then know it's out in.
Yeah.
And then from that point, you could just say you know, after the first bait, whether it's tanks or healers, then you could either say, you know, okay, now healers out, okay, then melee and ranged out from that
Yeah.
point on. I think that's what Shim's gonna.
That is exactly.
Yeah, no,
what
I mean
I'm
it's just
saying.
easier to just call the roll itself. Like I just figured that you guys also wanted the in out for it anyway.
If you're topping it off like a bunch, it's gonna be too confusing. Just
Yeah, well that was the main
minimalize
thing
it.
that I just wanted to clarify with something because some people I saw were getting hit by just the rings themselves when I said like in
What?
tank.
That's why it was confusing. Just like say a roll and then where everyone's going.
Yeah. Well, so I won't say where everybody is going because everybody technically knows where they're going just by just saying the name of the ability.
That's what you want to go.
This is far. Not that.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring.
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
His great wings. Ha! A wickedly divine.
Lower half. I'm just gonna say lower upper, I think. So half. Spread. Lower. Supports hit.
Oh my! The challenger went
DPS need to be
down.
nearest. DPS in. Just say DPS for that. Widening. Tank.
They're back on their feet.
Widening. Tank.
Upgrade.
Healers.
And they're done. Is it over already?
Melee. And ranged.
Oh,
I grabbed it so it wouldn't go in the middle.
They're still in it. But for how long?
There is no limit to Electro's potential.
Cardinals. Watch out for the lightning lines.
But to what end?
So we're going 2 and 4. Going 2. And that's going to be pairs. 2 pairs. Oh. Oh, my bad. I thought that. Oh, I was on the opposite side, so I kind of got screwed up a little bit. I mean, our pair positions need some work too. As well. That was a PB though. No worries. Alright, we will hop on break with the PB there. So, I can pause. Alright, yeah, no, the call outs, like, just calling it out that way, I think it's just a lot easier for
well, when we come back, could we go over really quick just where we're spreading in partners fit and if we're doing boss relative?
Yes,
Yes,
I was
please.
going
To get on the same
anyway as
page.
well. We are doing boss relative just because it just makes it easier for the later mechanics like cluster and stuff. Is that, and as soon as we get to that, then we're good to go. Pretty cool though. I mean, we're already at the what's it called? Already only 2 abilities away from getting to where we're basically at for P8S.
Запутался в себе, пытаюсь все развязать. Летаю среди планет на разорванных парусах. Вижу цветные сны, спрятавшие зеркала. Кровью пишу стихи в ее парадном на стенах. Слышу ее шаги, когда никого вокруг. Чувствую каждый вздох оранжевых ее губ. Вижу ее ладонь, порезанную судьбой. И если с ума сошел, то только лишь за тобой. Я ищу тебя везде, среди тысяч новостей, среди улиц и людей. Ищу тебя каждый день, ведь я просто хочу к тебе. Я просто хочу к тебе. Я просто хочу к тебе. Я давлюсь дешевым ромом и дымом от сигарет. И скучаю по приколам, по трипам, по ЛСД. Твой угадываю номер, звоню абсолютно всем. Мне плевать на эти даты, я жду тебя по весне. Рассказываю другим о том, как ты хороша. Ветер лишь за спиной, и ты начала дышать. Вижу твою ладонь, порезанную судьбой. И если с ума сошел, то только лишь за тобой. Среди тысяч новостей, среди улиц и людей. Ищу тебя каждый день, ведь я просто хочу к тебе. 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 Я просто хочу к тебе.
Pega minha calcinha, põe pro lado, encaixa certo e coloca. Pega minha calcinha, põe pro lado, encaixa certo e coloca. Ai, ai, hoje eu quero você até o dia amanhecer, porque eu tô louca pra fuder. Ai, 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 hoje eu sinto pra você. Tu vai ver bumbum mexer, não vai ter como esquecer. Tu vai ver bumbum, bumbum, tu vai ver bumbum mexer. Tu vai ver bumbum, bumbum, tu vai ver bumbum, vai. Tu vai ver bumbum, bumbum, tu vai ver bumbum mexer. Tu vai ver bumbum, bumbum, tu vai ver bumbum, vai. Pega minha calcinha, põe pro lado, encaixa certo e coloca. Pega minha calcinha, põe pro lado, encaixa certo e coloca. Ai, ai, hoje eu quero você até o dia amanhecer, porque eu tô louca pra fuder. Ai, 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 hoje eu sinto pra você. Tu vai ver bumbum mexer, não vai ter como esquecer.
Черный город за стеклом, черный образ, черный дом. Яркий блик твоих волос сочетается с огнем.
That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. Attaboy. Love a fade character dance with metal poop. Like, support.
Yeah.
The actual circle itself is not showing you, like, it's just showing the boss hitbox. Pretty sure, right? It's just showing you like where the end circle would be if it is in.
Okay.
Ты снова куришь, снова слезы на твоих щеках. Опять ждала меня бухого до 7 утра. А обещал, что я всю жизнь буду любить тебя. Я рэпер, зай мои слова не стоят.
Just wipe the group.
Я подонок, я изменщик, я газлайтер, я абьюзер. Я не нравлюсь твоей маме, ты хуй.
You have big guns, and then you have to figure out. So first and foremost, the actual scattered burst, or like that little thing on the top, is telling you if you're going from like spreads to pairs, or if you're dodging inwards to outwards. So if you see how it says there, I was with the priority for the actual stuff. So your group for this would normally start on the bottom right. Nope, it would be bottom right. Because the boss is technically top middle. So melee are getting off time at that point. So, God, I mean, I feel like, do you want to know where you need to go? So your first one here would be, I think, I don't even know how this one is working. Like, are you selected on range 2 here? Oh, so you are only just DPS. I mean, well, so the whole thing is that DPS are with their ranged partner. So, I mean, if you're melee DPS, then you would be... Oh, man, it's hard. 23. I think it would be top middle? No, top middle. I mean, well, I don't know who this is, technically. Oh, okay. It's just DPS and...
This little link is honestly really useful.
A little quiz thingy.
Mess around a bit. I like how they even like draw you a situation where you don't see what the symbol is. You have to figure it out from there.
Yeah, the Midnight Sabbath is one of the last mechanics of the fight. Or Sunrise Sabbath, Midnight Sabbath is one of the other ones. Like, people get kind of like stuck in like a temporal thingy. You have to like rotate. Okay, let me see if I can find the picture that we were talking about in the one thing. This is I'm just gonna send it to you with no context. And this is very important. This is basically like the entire mechanic but there's a lot that gets broken down into this.
What the hell am I looking at?
This is Sunrise. This is the cats. And so this would only
no
be
context. I'm just gonna say it. No context at all. This looks like vomit. So I know what none of that means.
Yeah. Even when you get there, you're not gonna know what it means. No, this is so Sunrise Sabbath is probably, I think, the hardest mechanic in the fight. It's like probably the hardest mechanic in the tier. Like you have to, it's just so much moving. Like you're soaking towers, you're going like in a clockwise pattern while like the other tanks and healers that aren't going to be doing the other towers, like it just depends on like where the laser beams are also coming from then. It's not worthwhile to go through it yet because I mean you don't even it's just not. Like I have nothing else to say. Like I'll start saying a bunch of random numbers too, and then you're gonna eventually learn what every single one of those numbers mean. Like I'm gonna say something like 1432 or something. And you're gonna know what that means. There's one that's really easy. One that's literally just go hide somewhere for the fight. That's probably the last easy mechanic though. Ready chicken here, and let's get back at it. One? The one that I drew? Oh, I don't know. He kind of reminds me more of like a Roblox character, to be honest. But he's running, man. He's running. Kind of forgot my name in here is Gotta Go. Instead of Gotta Go Fast, I'm Gotta Go Celestial Astrolite. Alright. Let's get at it. Nope, I don't have answer.
Food debuffs, friends. Food debuffs.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the ring!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
She's great wings! Ha! Oh, wickedly divine!
Upper, or lower, sorry. Spread. Upper. Supports hit. DPS need to be in. Nice. Widening. And then it's going to be out first. So healers, you guys are first. Tanks. Ranged. Melee. Alright, kinda got it. Let's go.
just back on their feet. Footprint.
There is no limit to Electro's potential.
It is gathering Ava, but to what end?
Be 2 and 4, I believe. And that's gonna be 4. And then we're going to be spread. Oh, that was a pair stack, I apologize. Alright, get into Electrope Edge 2 positions that we haven't gone over yet. So we'll be in clock positions to start with.
But for how long?
Let's see the debuffs. Alright, so DPS are gonna be first to Gleam. Yeah, I mean, we are gonna be able to. There's no way in fucking hell we're gonna be able to. Okay, we're gonna be getting to the left side of the boss. Or right side, technically. Nah, whatever. Yeah, there's no way I was gonna be able to.
We need to work on that that communication right there.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even go over Electrope Edge 2, but...
Can we go over our spreads and
Yeah, we're gonna
for-
get that first. I was really surprised that we actually...
I really want my shot caller to explain mechanics we haven't seen on the fly, please.
Why not? You guys were all kind of getting it. We technically almost did the base, right? Like, I mean, sort of. Alright, so... Yeah, there's no way you were going to get anything out of that because you don't understand at all what the thing of the mechanic is. So... Alright. I'm going to make a little... Make a little cube here.
You can just put a marker in the back corner here to simulate where it's going to blow up. And then like this upside down L key where we spread and stuff.
I'm gonna do like a little tiny thing here. Just do it this way. Alright. So
for electro-relative,
we're going into the 4 quadrant for that safe zone. So we would all be moving down to the bottom left. So we know that it's going to be either 2 or 4 because that was where the 2 orbs that only got shot once. I guess we could test out how close we could get. I guess we haven't done that yet, but I guess we could do that when we move to 2. So what we're now going to be doing is that once we find out whether or not the boss
we could
is
just
going
do the actual.
do the actual. I'm not sure what you mean.
Like the actual spacing, because she moved up to where we would be.
I'm not sure we can buy the actual space.
So like,
Do it with the actual arena.
yeah, pretend that we can use these 4 right now. It's like,
Oh,
I can get
okay.
pretty damn close to the boss right now. Look.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's generally a little bit easier.
So, I mean, it's always going to be boss relative. It shouldn't matter
Yeah.
if we only practice here. It should be pretty easy to adjust.
So the way that'll work is that we're always doing boss
Edge
relative,
1 will use
and group
these
1 is
spread
always going to be to
positions
the left,
here, and these are
group 2
boss
is always going to be
relative.
to the right.
If you need to go into pairs, you just slide over towards your partner.
So, in that case, we had pair drops. So if we're going to be standing in here, so we cannot go into... I'm going to take one of the red markers. This square is completely off limits. We cannot stand in this little square right here at all, because it's like a little corner square with a square is erupting. Pairs is a lot easier. You don't have to worry about the actual drops as much. Healers are going, or basically ranged are going to be with range, melee are going to be with melee. So, with these positions, it's just simply, Jimmy, you would just be up with Vic, ahead of the 4 marker. So it'll just be a matter of like we're in like the different squares. So think of it this way, in that you're just sharing half the square with Czech and Freya. You guys need to be on the left side of the square, and then Check and Freya would be on the right side of the square.
So Paris is blessed pattern.
And then technically, me and Shem, and then Jing and Amelie are all in correct spots. Now, if we have spreads though, and spreads, we're going to be spread out across this cube, where you guys can kind of guess how we're going to be spread out.
We like this, yeah.
Yeah, just that. And then, so this is going to be boss relative to everyone. Like, this will always be the spot that you're going to be in, wherever, like, you're just going to be almost like flipping this 90 degrees each time. I think I got that angle wrong. I think it's, wait, is it 90? It is 90. Yeah. So just remember these spots, and then just try to find like your guys' safe zone for your pairs, wherever you guys want to go. Like, where are you feeling, Shim? Where do you want to go? You want to go like on the button, or you want to go on back here?
What's up?
Where, like, where would you want to stand? Like, you can kind of just figure out like where you want to stand for pairs.
Oh, we can just be right here.
Assume it's in 3. Let's just do positions real quick for that.
Yep. So then now we're gonna flip positions. I'm just gonna put the markers back. So we're gonna say, all right, moving to 3, spread. That have died. All right, 4 pairs.
Cool. Cool.
Thing has died. 3 spreads. More pairs.
Why? So much movement.
No, actually, we're only doing this with the 2, but I still think it's helpful. And then 3 pairs.
Ooh.
Jing and Amelie have died. Okay.
I mean, for shits and giggles, how close can you get to this boss?
I think you get right
Can we
to
walk
the center.
around the boss?
Yeah, it's right in the center.
You said nothing. Alright, here, quick! Here we go. 2 pairs, 2 pairs, 2 pairs! Or just that ain't mechanics, just heal. 2 pairs, 2 pairs, 2 pairs. This is just a death match. 2 pairs, 2 pairs. No. Alright, home Jimmy in. And then whoop, they wipe the group. Alright, wipe it up.
It's not so bad though.
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
Okay.
Alright. Everybody feeling it? We got it? Yeah. Sideways sparking it up in here.
We've at least practiced the spreads. I feel better about it.
If doing this
Yeah,
on the other
I mean,
side,
there'll
it
still
will
probably be
crux
some
and 2 corners are
be
as
floppy
well as a
a
debuff.
little bit.
Of course, but like even practicing it was nice.
What's up?
This is nothing personal.
No, not yet. No, I'm not allowing you to yet. Because we're gonna be watching the entire, like, we're gonna be watching the video and then talking about things for a little bit there. It's the second to last mechanic of the fight. I think you gotta be content, you know?
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
Or the first, I should say.
She's great wings. Oh, wickedly divine.
Lower. Do you guys prefer I call the safe area or call the no area?
Is it over already?
Yeah.
Lower. I've just been calling the no zone so far. Supports hit.
Keep with it.
But for how long?
DPS in.
Oh shit. I heard supports in. Oh. Ooh.
Oh my! The challenge
Widening. It's gotta be tanks first for widening.
They're back on their feet. What?
Healers. We're kind of all.
Oh, I tried to adjust to help with you, Vic.
It's alright.
When you have anybody dead for that, I mean, the baits go all over the place. I think we generally have the right idea down.
Alright. Little gamer.
There is no limit to Electro's potential.
Literally my favorite line in like this expansion, man. Just the like grit on her voice and everything. Fantastic.
But to what end?
Well, it's gonna be 1 and 3. Between 1 and
2.
3.
1 and 2. It's 1 and 2.
Oh, 1 and 2. Oh,
It's gonna be 1.
and 1 and spread. 1 and spread.
Still gonna die, but... Oh, no. Ooh.
Healer LB3.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Alright,
great.
hold on, I
Quick,
got it.
Jing. Defensive.
Your carbuncle.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Please. Please, I'm so squishy.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
You took 2 autos.
Alright. Electro Badge 2.
I put a ham on me in every
Alright.
way.
Supports. Oh wait, you have a support and a DPS one.
Oh,
I don't think you can do it.
A short timer. 4 players will have a long time. We are now going to be the people who are getting.
Your AoEs would just depend on how many times you got zippy zappy.
We get hit.
So
To
shit.
make things a little bit simpler,
Technically, even though you wouldn't be able to, you would have had 2 drops in a row.
But it's easiest to just assume as you see
safe
your
zone
alarm
is gonna be
buff,
2.
Go ahead and add 1 to your total.
Spread
From this
of
point
2.
onwards, it's individual. You just need to count for yourself how many charges do you have.
Perfect.
So I'll do this from main tank's perspective. The boss will cast Witch Blade, and all the main tank is going to do is for themselves.
We gotta
look,
get.
how many times do I get hit? Remember, they start at 1 because they're alone.
Still need to get those hunts down.
2.
No deados. We go right from the no deados to no deados on EE1.
This is nothing personal, but I must have your soul.
Wicked Thunder has returned to the league!
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
She's great wings! Oh, wickedly divine!
Lower no. Spread. Lower no. DPS were hit. Support's out. Narrowing, and then it's going to be tanked first for narrowing. Tanked first for narrowing. Heals. Melee. Ranged. I'm dead because I took one of the healer ones.
And they're down! Is it over?
Hey, you were a little too far out.
They're still in it! But for how long?
There is no limit to Electro's potential.
North south.
He's gathering Eva. But to what end?
1 and 3.
Be 1 and 3, and then pairs on 1. Pairs on 1. All right, let's go, guys. Let's go. Bankbuster.
Involved.
All right, let me go watch EE2 now, because I don't think I can really explain out the drops and everything for EE2 in like a second. But get into clock spots. You guys will need to get in like a little bit closer to clock spots, but yeah. So then DPS. So then this is how the AoE drops will go. Alright. I'm not even gonna try to explain it out, but like we'll basically get into safe zones around here for how the AoEs are dropping. So you see how like I was shot first, so I'm going to have the cube first.
Held it out.
See how massive the explosions are too. Alright. Awesome
Ball,
ball, guys.
They go up to
Cool.
3.
We'll watch
Every
EE2.
player's doing
We'll
this
probably
correctly.
do that
Four
and maybe
players
get like
3
another
and 4
pull
players
in.
that have 2, and these are neatly
we'll
split
be
between
done
long
for
and
the
short
night.
debuffs and within the rolls.
First day of Progeronies. So far, so
The
good.
boss will now cast Lightning Cage,
roughly where
and
I
we see this
thought we were
exact
going to get to.
pattern of AoEs here. This pattern
So
can be
got through
flipped to be facing
EE1
towards
perfectly.
any cardinal.
Got the tank buster down.
But
We
the
used
pattern
that
is
invuln
identical.
properly.
For how we resolve this, we do it relative to where the pattern
Now.
appears. All of the long debuff players are going to hide up in this safe spot at the top of the pattern. Everyone else is going to go to a spot based on how many times they got charged up and the roll, with tank healers going left relative to the top of the pattern. We are now going to be the people who are getting charged up, and our AoE size will depend on how many times we get hit. To make things a little bit simpler, all long debuff players are going to get charged up once, later on in the mechanic, but it's easiest to just, as soon as you see you're a long debuff, go ahead and add 1 to your token. From this point onward, each individual, you just need to count for yourself.
So everybody knows what I mean by, so this isn't just tank / DPS for it. It could be that way, but you will just need to look at your debuff on whether or not you're long or not.
How many charges do you have? So I'll do this from main tank's perspective. The boss will cast Witchblade, and all the main tank is going to do is for themselves look, how many times do I get hit? Remember, they start at 1 because they're alone. 2. And hit an end, so they go up to 3. If every player is doing this correctly, we have 4 players that have 3 and 4 players that have 2, and these are neatly split between long and short debuffs and within the rolls. The boss will now cast Lightning Cage, and you see this exact pattern of AoEs here. This pattern can be flipped to be facing towards any cardinal, but the pattern is identical. For how we resolve this, we do it relative to where the pattern appears. All of the long debuff players are going to hide up in this safe spot at the top of the pattern. Everyone else is going to go to a spot based on how many times they got charged up and the roll, with tank healers going left relative to the top of the pattern and DPS going right. This works because the 2 stack people cannot clip the long debuff players, nor can the 3 stack players who can't clip anyone despite how massive their AoE gets. If everyone goes to their correct spot, the AoEs go off and take heavy damage with everyone's spot. Immediately rush middle and face north, as the boss will always do a sideways spark and will always face true north face. You need to dodge to the correct side and either spread or stack, as the boss symbols show you today. Here it's spread. Had we have instead had to do a clear knowledge, these are not our usual perfect. For this, we need to make sure that every long debuff player is paired with the short debuff players. The players who still have the debuff are the targeted players. You should be able to see one player who moves around them in every part. We use fixed positions for this in the Battlefield stack, in which you've got supports are always north and south, depending on how many stacks they have. And you have DPS are either under the boss or to the side of the boss, depending on how many stacks they have. Be mindful these are very tight positions of trying to keep uptime, so make sure you are at least max melee, if not dipping out slightly before the attack. Afterwards, we get the same AoE pattern again, it might be rotated. And once again, the safe spots are relative to the pattern, with short debuffs hiding in the tip of the pattern, everybody else going in. Everyone goes to their final spot pattern, and DPS go damage survive. Immediately rush middle and face north, because the boss will always do a sideways spark and will always face true north face. You need to dodge to the correct side and either spread or stack, as the boss symbols show you to do. Here it's spread, nobody dies. Afterwards, the boss will cast Ion Cluster. Had we instead had to do a paired dodge, these are not our usual targets, the rolls. For this, we need to make sure that every long debuff player is paired with a short debuff player. Now, the players who still have the debuff are the targeted players for this. You should be able to see one player with sides around them in every part to as quickly as possible dodge to the opposite side. Pay attention to the boss's hitbox. The boss will swerve slightly towards the direction they're going to leave, so whichever hitbox arrow you see, that's the way to dodge. Here the boss swivels and we see the right hitbox arrow, so we dodge over to the right. Taking 1 hit, 2 hits is usually fine, but 3 will kill any non-tanks, and even tanks need to dodge before the final hit, which will destroy the plot. The boss will jump to the middle of our new thin little column and start to cast Electron Stream. And you'll see that one side of the boss will glow blue and the other will glow yellow. This is your standard Final Fantasy XIV get hit by the opposite color mechanic, so if you have the blue debuff on the yellow side, yellow debuff on the blue side, then you need to make sure tanks are in the front on each side, because it's a wild charge. The first player hit will take highest damage.
One more thing.
One stack of your debuffs that also gives you another one. Before we get confused, let's break this down. This symbol here is a small point blank AoE. This symbol here means that you're going to trigger a small donut. This symbol means you need to get hit by another player, one of these players with an arrow dot. The blue one will target the nearest player. The green one will
What the hell, man?
Getting hit once is
This is typical Savage shit, my dude.
The simplest way by far
This is
to
the
do
final
this
mechanic
is
of
the
the part 1.
In the DN strat, we're going to use these exact positions here. So the rivets on either side, as well as the perfectly middle.
He'd love
I'm gonna pause here. This is in just the square itself. So back in like here, you guys see these little dots here where I'm standing? These are the rivets that he's talking about. So you gotta think of it as in like a little tri-pattern here, because we do not have a lot of area here. You guys saw where I was, like just these 3 little...
Yeah.
The support of the blue debuff, I can point like here.
Because the positions are beyond tight.
DPS with that same type of debuff goes in the right here. The purple debuff player goes in the perfectly middle of the tile. And the other player, regardless if they have green or blue arrow debuff, goes directly in front of you. If you position like this, it works perfectly. If all the players have point blank AoEs, they miss everyone else. If they have donuts, they miss everyone else. If it's near bait, it only hits the purple player, and if it's far bait, it hits that purple player still, and while it goes through another player on the way, that means they do some light damage. If everyone positions correctly according to the strat, all of the debuffs go off, and you survive. The boss will have another electron stream, and you need to make sure that you're on the correct side. This might require you to flip to the opposite side, so be aware, and remember to always have your tanks in front. After the hit goes off, we get the debuff again, and we repeat this until we've done it 3 times in total. Every electron stream hits like a truck, so mitigate it heavily, and the debuffs also do damage as they cleanse. We get another Wicked Foot Tank Buster. You want to make sure that your off-tank is aggro so they can move. And then the boss will go middle and cast Electro Transplant. We're going to be in our corners for this. However, we flip things 180 degrees because for the whole mechanic, the boss will naturally face south, and so we want our melees to not be unable to get their positionals for the next minute. When Electro Transplants finish, we get these exact rounds. Dodge slightly clockwise from your corner, and then dodge back. These healers are ranged out while we do dodges, because as the fifth AoE goes off, either all supports or all DPS are targeted with an AoE. Player hit need to be protected for the next attack. Because of his DPS hit, you need a support in front of him. So in this case, healers will dash in and get in front of their melees to protect them from the next attack, which is a line AoE targeting the players did originally. Don't forget to dodge one more time after this, and then the boss will repeat everything again. The second round will be exactly the same as the first time. After you've dealt with both rounds, stack up everybody south, heal and mitigate heavily as you're going to get a bunch of raid wides before the boss jumps up and sends you flying towards a brand new platform.
And that is where we will pause. That is where phase 2 starts. Any questions? Alright.
Too many, my dude. I thought we were just looking at Electro too.
That's what I thought too. Like,
Man, why not just look at the last mechanic? There's only one more mechanic. Why not?
Electro left my brain. I ain't gonna lie.
Perfect. Just remember how many times you get zippy zappied, and then remember where you're supposed to be standing in the puzzle piece.
Have your soul.
If you're a sharp marker, you just stand in the little baby square. Well, technically, for shorts.
If one needs wings, one needs simply make them.
She's great wings. Oh, wickedly.
Upper, no.
Oh.
My, the challenger went down hard.
Lower, no. Sports hit. DPS furthest.
And they're done. Is it over already?
Widening. And then it's going to be out first. Well, then healers, you guys would be out first.
What great.
Tanks in. Ranged out. I got hit by one first. Just goes where it's open. Alright, we'll do one more. And then we will call it for the night.
It's just a fun fight, though, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Ion cluster's pretty stupid. I won't lie, it's really fucking stupid.
This is nothing personal.
I still think we get it. We're kind of like that one. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah. That's where most of the prog groups, other than Sunrise, the that, and Ion Cluster, is because it's just really tight positioning. There's just a lot to worry about, like after you just get hit by a laser beam, everybody immediately has to sprint to their position, shoot their goo out, and then get ready for the next drops. There's just quite a bit that you're going to be skedaddling around. There's not really a way to lower no. It's not really just a great way to call out a lot of them. Upper no. And then supports per hit. DPS need to be out. Widening. Then it's going to be supports first. Both healers are dead. Healers first and then tanks. Can't really do it. Tanks.
Is it over already?
What's up?
Oh.
Yeah, I was just supposed to be healers out for the first one, so didn't really beat that. Yeah, I'll do one more because that was just a lamb pull. What was our best pull? Like, I didn't see the percentage that we got to when we had the clean E2.
76.
For a real first day, that's not bad.
Oh no, that's 25% of the boss. I mean, we're at the second to last mechanic.
One needs wings, one needs simply make them.
She's great wings. Oh, wickedly divine.
Lower no. Upper no. And then sports were hit, so DPS need to be far. DPS far. widening, and it's gonna be tanks first. Widening and tanks first. Tanks you will need to be closest. Killers. Melee. Range.
I got her.
For first better.
One and two, was it, or one and two? One and two, gotcha. It's gonna be pairs, and it's gonna be on two. Pairs on two. You got a little bit of time. You can see the circles. Okay. Nice. Tank Buster. Invuln. We're gonna get into clock spot. Remember how many times you get shootied. Don't forget, long debuffs are going into the little middle safe square.
Longs add 1 to your total.
And longs are going to be in the little safe zone. And twos.
That wasn't right.
Gross. It's gonna be safe stones, bread. And now all the shorts will, like, technically people with no debuffs are gonna go into the safe zone on B. Technically, as the AoE still go off after death, so yeah, that was a twin little pull. What was our percentage there? Did we break our
75, technically.
Let's go! Awesome first day, guys. It is a first day, so a little bit. It's a
That's how you do it.